AI revolution is upon us. We've been hearing this for the past 2 years, ever since ChatGPT first came out in the market and captured our popular imagination. We've been hearing about use cases of ChatGPT, about automations driven by AI, and how people are using it for personal productivity and organizational productivity. And then we are starting to claim that we are starting to lose jobs because of AI. How much of it is just headline grabbing, and how much of it is a fact out there? The headlines are certainly eye-popping. Just a few months ago, we saw IBM is planning to pause hiring in a plan to replace 7,800 jobs with AI, reported by Bloomberg. Likewise, the Fast company says there's a design team that's made up of just one human and several AIs. So an entire company being run by AIs. And some of it is clickbait, some of it is sensational reporting. So I decided to post this question on the popular Reddit subreddit called Futurology. And my question, is there a lot of buzz in the media about AI ML, and have there actually been any jobs lost? And this really blew up with over 198 comments. The comments were all over the place, but if you look at the one set of people said the numbers are heavily underreported. And the other is, do you honestly believe that companies would openly admit that they're replacing people with AI? Public companies would, in fact, be bragging about it. Now, these are two extreme viewpoints, but the truth is somewhere kind of in between. So let's look at what the top responses were. Most people who responded say they are using it for personal productivity. Coders say they are extremely productive using some of these tools. There's one guy who says, he a plus version of himself replaces 3 or 4 of him from a few years ago. So that's a huge productivity gain. Now, the other is it's a tool to produce boilerplate or check for designs you have missed. Again, in the software development space. Customer service area is ripe for automation. And we have been hearing about innovations in that space for a while. It's hard to get a human on a first call. It takes several iterations of machine prompts and responding to machine queries before you finally get to speak to a human, which is where the automation has really took off. Now, there are a lot of people being hired as gig workers to train AI. That's certainly happening in multinationals. And then there are design jobs, like designs for logos, design for images, or writing articles, ghost writing memoirs, and things like that. But ChatGPT and some of these AI tools have really took off. There's one guy who talks about an EMR data management in the medtech space, medical technology space, where AI is certainly making inroads. Now, if you look at the numbers behind these are not small numbers. When you add it up, it is sizable, but it is across industries, across companies. So it is yet to make real headlines. Now, there are two headlines just recently that caught my attention. One said Microsoft is laying off 1,500 workers, blaming it on AI wave. And the other said almost 65,000 job cuts were announced in April of this year alone, and AI was blamed for the most. Now, if you read the article, after reading the headlines, it tells a different story. The first one about Microsoft talks about 1,000 to 1,500 workers across the Microsoft's Azure and mixed reality departments being laid off, not because of AI, because of downsizing, because of business restructuring. Likewise, in the tech sector, there were about 48,000 job cuts in April alone. And only about 800 of those were actually blamed on AI. So there is the news and there are the headlines, but there is the reality behind these headlines, which is to say AI hasn't really started replacing human jobs at a large scale yet. The bottom line, as this Business Insider article says, AI isn't driving tech layoffs, but it does make for a good scapegoat. Layoffs have been sweeping the tech sector. Although some are blaming AI, there's little evidence to show AI is driving mass cuts in the industry, at least not yet.